and welcome to yet another brand new edition of The Pulse, the show where we talk about issues concerning us. In today's internet-savvy world, online shopping has become quite popular among people worldwide. Apart from the ease and comfort, it gives us a wide range of products to choose from at heavy discounts and delivery at our doorstep. And this is because of these reasons that the e-commerce industry today has seen tremendous growth in the last few years. Especially in India, the e-commerce sector has grown exponentially, becoming the fastest growing sector today. It is expected to reach over $200 billion by the year 2026. But at the same time, it has also led to a different kind of fraud system as well, one among them being the surge in fake goods on the e-commerce websites. Even the largest e-commerce platforms like Amazon, eBay and Walmart are experiencing a significant increase in the volume of unsafe, banned and counterfeit products sold under their brands by third-party sellers. In fact, various surveys have shown that 1/3 of e-commerce customers are getting fake products today. According to the 2018 Global Brand Counterfeiting Report, the amount of total counterfeiting globally reached $1.2 trillion in the year 2017, that's 2 years ago, and is anticipated to reach $1.82 trillion by the year 2020, that's next year. As per the losses suffered due to online counterfeiting globally, the report says it amounted to $323 billion in the year 2017. Luxury brands in particular have been hit the hardest with losses of more than $30 billion specifically from online counterfeit sales. So this week on The Pulse, we discuss the growing problem of fake goods online and how can we tackle this scourge of counterfeit products. We'll also try and understand from the experts who are joining us in the studio today various ways to prevent ourselves from being cheated while shopping online. Joining me in the studio for a discussion today are Dr. H.P.Kumar, former Chairman and Managing Director, NSIC, Government of India. Next to him is Mr. Khanna. He is Managing Editor, Consumer Voice. Dr. P.N. Tiwari, he is Member Judge, Consumer Court, Delhi. And we also have with us Mr. Ankit Gupta. He is Advocate, E-Commerce, Consumer Affairs. I welcome all of you on this edition of The Pulse. And in addition, we also have in the audience a group of people from various walks of life who will share with us their experiences about fake products, if they've been duped online while shopping. And besides, they'll also be asking questions to our experts as to how do we prevent ourselves from being cheated while shopping online. I welcome all of you on the program as well. Dr. H.P. Kumar, let me begin the program today with you. Considering the trend that's picked up globally, all of us, especially the younger generation, it gives us a lot of ease and comfort to shop online from the various websites that are available at the, on our mobile phones. But looking at the numbers of fake counterfeit products that are available, how grave is the problem in our country?
Well, I would say that the problem is getting grave, day by day. People have not realized until now that how many products that what they are buying, how much of them is fake, because it's very difficult to make out from the appearance of the product that whether it is fake or a genuine product. Most of the time it's only after the use that one comes to know that it's a fake product.
Yes.
Now the problem arises is, first of all, how to identify whether it's a fake product or not. And second thing, even if you identify in the beginning itself, the problem of return and getting your money back, that also is not so easy and it's a bit complicated. The bigger issue is that once you use the product, start using the product on the belief that you are buying a genuine product, and after the use you suffer some harm in terms of physical harm, in terms of harm to your health, harm to the children, particularly in for the toys that you are buying, or some similar kind of products which have sensitivities like cosmetics, which are which create health hazards. Now the issue is that what are the mechanisms as how do you first of all prevent this? The problem is of course a big problem. Nobody can deny that, because as you rightly mentioned in the beginning itself, that from the data, this amount and the percentage has been rising day after day. And more people, taking advantage of this ignorance that is, particularly with Indian consumers, because in the euphoria and enthusiasm to buy online, because more and more people are getting added to the online purchases, and most of them are first time buyer, second time buyer. So in that process, the number of fakes also is increasing, as you mentioned. Now, how to prevent it, first of all? And then if you suffer any damage or harm, what is the way that you can be compensated? These are all the issues which need to be addressed. Now, first of all, how do you identify? That is the first stage. Or even before you identify, I would say why the fake products should enter the marketplace.
Yes.
That is the first stage where the marketplace should be able to check and prevent entry of the fake products. And for that, I think the best way is to use the technology. In terms of, recognition of particular features of the product and the qualities which are specifically to be built in the products, which are identifiable through microscopic technological, viewing.
Okay.
Recognition.
Okay, so we'll talk about these solutions a little later in the program. Let me come to Mr. Khanna. Sir, what Mr. Kumar pointed out is the basic problem is a lot of us wouldn't know that we've been duped of a fake product at the cost of an original one. So once you've recognized, once you've identified that, the product that you're using is a fake one, what should the consumers do? Precisely because a lot of us do not know what the next step should be.
I think this is an issue with which every individual should be familiar. You order something, whatever you order, you should keep a copy of the page of the e-commerce site on which you ordered. उसकी स्क्रीनशॉट लेके अपने फ़ोन में रख लो आप, ताकि कल आपको ये प्रूव करने में आसानी हो कि मैंने ये चीज़ खरीदी थी और ये आ गई है. When it arrives, you should do the other thing. When the delivery man is delivering to you, ask him to open it in front of you. And while he is opening it, take another picture on your phone. That is the second proof that this thing came out of the box. Because many times these people say, ये तो था ही नहीं उसमें, ये तो कुछ और होगा, ये तो कुछ और गलत चीज़ दिखा रहे हैं. So, you protect yourself by taking these two pictures. Of course, you have the invoice, etc. Once you start using the product, if you find something is wrong, when it is fake, it shows up in one way or the other. The technical sophistication of a fake product is not so much that it's exactly like the actual one. It is not. Many a times it is possible to make out. Even by a layman can make it out. Or if a layman can't make it out, it's best to show it to someone else who understands it better and he can guide you. And if there is something that requires testing, if it's a food product, for example, then you can give it for testing in a lab, and under the Food Safety Authority rules, whatever fees you are charged is refunded if it is actually fake. So what I'm saying is, you have to have evidence to show that it is fake. Either it is an oral evidence of an expert or yourself, and then one of the things you should do is, you should contact the actual brand owner. कि भाई ये हमने खरीदा, ये आपका नाम लिखा हुआ है, आपका है या नहीं है, वो 2 मिनट में बता देगा. Because they are used to dealing with their own fake products on a daily basis. Because who is going to be copied? Only the successful products are being copied. Those products whose prices are higher and have a higher margin is being copied because somebody wants to make money on the hard work of someone else. That is why it is being copied. That is why it is fake. That is why it is counterfeit. So once you have some evidence, oral evidence or graphic evidence or evidence of by your own use, you can say it is fake. Then the case is made out for going to the website from where you bought it, and they have a toll-free number or a complaint, make a complaint saying that I bought this, attach the picture, I got this, attach the picture, and this is why it is fake, I want my money back, or I want the genuine product sent to my home. This is what you can do under the existing situation. And the Consumer Protection Act, it protects you in the same way as it protects anybody buying a fake product from any shop. So there is no difference. He is a seller, the only difference is he is online. And the man who is selling you offline, if he is selling a fake product, whatever rights you have against him, you have against the seller and the website as well. So when you, and of course, if the website does not listen to you, then you have other means, which I am sure these gentlemen who are sitting here, who are legal experts, will tell you.
Yes. Okay, Ankit Gupta, as Mr. Khanna pointed out, I think the problem aggravated when these websites started promoting third-party sellers, because they started behaving as if they are only the facilitators, it's between the buyer and the seller, and that's where the problem, I think, aggravated further in recent years specifically. What are the guidelines as per which law are these e-com retailers governed in India? And where sir says that the websites must be held accountable. So in cases where the third party seller is at fault, what must the consumers do?
Exactly. Is the law point that we have consumer protection in 1986 in the play, which is the old law, which is an outdated law right now. There are new law, which is consumer protection in 2019. It is yet to be notified, although it is an act right now. That act completely and specifically deals about the provision regarding the aggregators or the facilitators, fastening of the liability to the aggregator and the facilitator, so-called. Till now, the question is that only the wholesaler or the retailer or the dealer or the manufacturer is held liable, and they were treated as an aggregator to the product. But now with the passage of this law 2019, now the aggregator per se can be held liable for this. So yes, there are provisions. Once the act is notified, then definitely they will owe a liability to it. They have to make sure that the person who are selling on their portals has to have that kind of quality maintenance with them. They will have the product liability, and indeed the aggregator can also be made liable in this.
Okay. Sir, because you deal with a lot of cases, although very few cases reach the court stage in India, I believe, because due to lack of awareness, also because of the high cost factor. What are the kind of cases that you deal with, and what about the compensation bit? How much of a compensation do the consumers get in case they are duped of a fake product? If you could explain to us what happens in consumer courts.
See, as far as the e-commerce business is concerned, why it has been introduced? Because everybody wants this time-consuming factor and money also. So from either from their workplace or from their residence, they order. But here the main thing is, before putting any order on online portals, you must see their refund policies, what are their terms and conditions, and besides that, you will find everything. Their terms and condition clearly defines the who would be the seller, who would be the distributors. And what we see in court, the cases comes, sir, we only know the online portal. Up to this old act till we are dealing, here online portals are almost left as they are free. Only the person who delivers the goods, they are held liable because their addresses are there in invoices. But as the new act is coming, here all three would be liable.
Okay.
That is the online portal, the person who is delivering your goods, or the person who is providing the services. And secondly, foremost thing is that you must prove your case with the evidences that this is the fake case, or these are the terms and conditions which are not matching, or any deficiency on part of either of the three.
Among the consumers, the grievance is that when you go to the courts, the big firms usually get away with a very, paltry fine, which is not enough. On the consumer's part, the amount of running around that they have to do from pillar to post, even after the judgment, comes, it is not in their favor, or it's quite minimal, which they're not satisfied with, and then they are left to go to higher courts, and this cycle goes on, and we know the condition of courts in our country. Will the new act change any of this? Will it be consumer friendly?
See, in every complaint, there is a word pecuniary jurisdiction, and before that is territorial jurisdiction. What is the territory of my court under which your case can be admitted? Then what damages you are claiming, that should be within the pecuniary jurisdiction. For example, as on today it is 20 lakh.
Okay.
Tomorrow it will be 1 crore, but it doesn't mean that your compensation will run 1 crore against a product of 10,000 or 25,000. So in the new act, it will be only product value, not the total pecuniary jurisdiction. And accordingly, whatever compensation you are asking in the complaint, our jurisdiction is only limited to the complaint, not beyond that. So we cannot go beyond our complaint. So whether it pertains to proving damages, giving compensation, it all amounts up to the complaint limit, whatever has been instituted before us.
Okay, okay. So now, after having taken opinions from all our panelists, let me go to the audience and understand how this problem is mounting today. So we'll get first-hand experiences from audience members.
Hi, my name is Ilana, and I got shoes from Reebok on Amazon. And to be honest, I really didn't know if it was fake, but I returned them because that wasn't the quality that I expected from Reebok. So now there are two problems with this. One, I can't identify if it is fake. And two, if I assume that it is actually the real product, it is damaging Reebok's brand image. So I actually have a question for Mr. Kumar. One, how do you identify if a product is fake, if it is an exact imitation? And two, you talked about using technology. So what is the scope of using technology to identify these fake products in India?
The issue as to how you identify a product, whether it is fake or genuine,
That's perhaps the biggest challenge.
is the
that
real
we face
challenge.
today,
Basically,
yes.
is the first stage where you come across the problem. Now, identifying the product from the appearance of the product sometimes becomes difficult, because the people who are making these fake products are also becoming smarter day by day, and they are virtually copying the genuine
Especially
products.
for first-time buyers. Maybe,
Yeah.
she's used that product, she knows it. She understood from the appearance that it's fake. For people who are first-time buyers.
Absolutely. So whatever efforts you put in on the consumer, it is very difficult for him to really identify those products. So the onus of ensuring that the fake product does not reach the consumer, first of all, lies with the marketplace. I mean, besides the manufacturer who is doing a like kind of a cheating. So marketplace also is equally responsible, as the new law is coming now. Marketplace should be able to use the technology, because technology cannot be used individually at the consumer level. I mean, sitting at home, I do not have those equipments to identify whether it is a new product. And the kind of technology which should be required is basically the microscopic cameras, which are able to check, like the logo. Now the original product will have a logo which will have something extra or something missing. These things cannot be copied by the makers of the fake products, because they are not visible.
Shouldn't the companies be doing it, sir? Why leave it to the consumer?
No, consumer will not be able to do this. So the marketplace owner, which is the aggregator, which has wherewithals and all these resources, when they are contracting with the suppliers or those product suppliers, they should be able to enter into an arrangement and ask them to supply the technology, the original manufacturers, and that technology should be applied to identify and screen each and every product which is coming on the marketplace and supplied.
But I would advise you, madam, not to wait till this suggestion is implemented, because you could be waiting endlessly. What will happen in the marketplace depends on many things. It may happen, and the person may give an assurance, the reseller, that I will put only genuine products, and he may still put a fake one. So in spite of an arrangement, it can still happen. So I will give you a simple solution. It's a big challenge, but I will give you a simple solution. Take the shoe to a Reebok showroom and say, I bought it, but it doesn't look good. Something is wrong. Can you repair it for me? The moment you say repair, they will show it to their expert who is in the showroom, and he'll come back and, madam, ye to hamara hai nahi. Well, please write it and give it to me. Get a slip that this shoe is not manufactured by Reebok. That's enough. You don't have to go to any technology. All you have to do is go to the original brand owner, his retail store, his wholesale store, his brand store, and get proof. Because if he says it is not ours, that is the best proof you will have in any court of law or in any dispute.
You wanted to make a point, Ankit Gupta?
Ilana, the question which you raised was that you have two options. First, there is always a consumer feedback email ID written on a product, wherein you can mark an email to them. Second, usually the branded products have a serial number or a batch number associated to them. What Khanna ji said is, I think is not very practically feasible, because when you go to any authorized showroom and tell them to write, they will definitely not write so. In case that, you can shoot an email to that company and ask them to Identify whether the batch number is of their own product or not. That will suffice your purpose as evidence to be proven in a court of law. Moreover, when you come across any kind of product, there is a return policy. Usually we have 15 days return policy, which the big websites provides us. So you can always take advantage of that. Subsequently, if you develop that this product is not a real product or not a genuine product, then definitely you can approach the company directly and get them write a mail, and so that you can prove your claim that this is actually not a genuine product.
Okay.
That
okay.
can help.
Okay. Anybody else?
मेरा क्वेश्चन खन्ना जी से है, जैसा कि सर आपने मेरे को बताया, हमने सुना भी कि प्रोडक्ट को लेते टाइम उसकी एक स्क्रीनशॉट ले लिया जाए और डिलीवरी लेने से पहले उसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले लिया जाए. सर, आम आदमी जब एक प्रोडक्ट लेता है तो उसके संदर्भ में ये बात आती ही नहीं है, बिल्कुल ही नहीं आती है. और सर, स्क्रीनशॉट लेने से उसकी लायबिलिटी तो नहीं होती ना, क्योंकि मैं अगर किसी चीज़ का स्क्रीनशॉट ले रहा हूँ और मैं उस स्टफ को मैं देख ही नहीं रहा हूँ, तो मैं क्या उस पर क्लेम कर सकता हूँ? क्या स्क्रीनशॉट लेना ही अपने आप में एक क्लेम करना लायक है सर?
अल्टीमेटली अगर वो प्रोडक्ट फेक है तो आपको प्रूव करना पड़ेगा कि ये प्रोडक्ट उस डब्बे में आया है जो इस कंपनी ने मुझे डिलीवर किया है. वो कल मुकर जाएंगे तो ये प्रोडक्ट हमारे डब्बे से निकला ही नहीं, तो फिर क्या करोगे आप?
OLX जैसी बहुत सारी वेबसाइट है जो पुरानी चीज़ों को बेचती है, और उसके अलावा रीसेलिंग भी वेबसाइट बहुत सारी है. लेकिन OLX जिस पे पुरानी चीज़ें बेची जाती हैं उस पे बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं कि धोखाधड़ी के शिकार होते हैं. इस स्थिति में उनको क्या करना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो चीज़ वो खरीद रहे हैं वो पहले से ही सेकंड हैंड है.
ठीक है, I'll bring that question to the panel. Sir, I'll take one more question. आगे से.
So last year I bought on Tiwari I bought one dress from a particular website, and the picture which was depicted, it was the product which I received, that was completely opposite. So my question is that everybody is not in that state, on that, like a layman person will not go to the court for that purpose. Like me also, I did not went to any court or something, and when I asked that particular website to return the product, they simply rejected that we are not refunding and we are not they did not even exchange the product. So my question is whether there should not be any guidelines to the customers to like they're not even able to go to the court, then where they should go for that purpose?
See,
not to the courts, then where?
That's what all our panelists have also been suggesting, that when you buy a product, as consumers, we must also be aware of what we are getting into. So that's when Sir says, read carefully the return policy, go through it carefully.
Ma'am, it was completely written over there that it is 100% refundable.
देखो, अगर वो प्यार से वापस नहीं कर रहा है तो मैं तो आपको एडवाइस नहीं करूँगा कि कचहरी में जाओ, क्योंकि इनकी कचहरी में जाओगे तो उसमें 4-5 साल लग जाएंगे हियरिंग होते होते और फैसला आते आते. फैसला आएगा कि 2100 रुपये इसको वापस दे दिए जाएँ और इसको 3000 रुपये दे दिए जाएँ इसके खर्चे के, और तब तक आपके कम से कम 10-15 हज़ार रुपये खर्च हो जाएंगे.
मेरा सवाल है कि अगर हम कोर्ट्स नहीं जाएं तो फिर कहाँ जाएं उस कंप्लेन को लेकर? कौन
तो उसका तरीका ये है कि अपने सोशल मीडिया पे उस वेबसाइट की इतनी तारीफ करिए अपने 25 दोस्तों के साथ कि सबको पता लग जाए कि ये वेबसाइट क्या कर रही है, और वो इतना तंग हो जाए कि आपके घर आके बोलो माफ़ी होगी, आप ये लोग ड्रेस और हमें माफ़ करो.
What my suggestion would be, with the implementation of the new law, what they also propose is setting up of a consumer fora. There will be a helpline, there will be a consumer fora where you can register your complaint.
See, if you are placing an order, at least see the credentials of the vendor, the supplier.
It was very well, I think
The
everybody
feedback.
knows about it. Yeah.
And the return policy, because otherwise, you know, you are going to land into a situation where you said that you probably faced.
It's difficult to monitor. There are 20 million such websites
देखो, हम क्या करते
operating
हैं,
across
हमारी
the world.
कंज्यूमर एसोसिएशन के पास आप जैसा कोई व्यक्ति आता है, हम उसको कहते हैं पहले हमारे मेंबर बनो, और फिर हम अपने लीगल डेस्क से लीगल नोटिस ड्राफ्ट करके उसको भेजेंगे. हमारी चिट्ठी जब पहुंचती है उसके पास तो उसके कान खड़े हो जाते हैं कि भैया ये मामला मुश्किल है, और वो नेगोशिएट करने को तैयार हो जाते हैं. तो उसका एक तरीका और है कि अपने आपके इलाके में, आपके क्षेत्र में, कार्य क्षेत्र में, गृह क्षेत्र में अगर कोई कंज्यूमर एसोसिएशन है तो उसके साथ मिल जाइए, उसके मेंबर बन जाइए, ताकि उसके माध्यम से सब मिलके कंज्यूमर्स की एकता दिखा के कंपनियों को शिकायत करें, ताकि उनको लगे कि इनकी बात सुननी पड़ेगी. देखिए, आपने वो कहानी सुनी हुई है किसान और उसका बेटा, कि जब उसने कहा भाई एक ये तिनका इसको तोड़ो, उसने कहा सारे बांध दो इकट्ठा, तोड़ो नहीं टूटेगा, एकता में बल है. तो कंज्यूमर एसोसिएशन का भी जो कानूनी जामा है कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में है, अपने इलाके में एक कंज्यूमर एसोसिएशन के साथ जुड़ जाइए. और देखो, बहुत इलाकों में कम है ऐसी एसोसिएशन, इतना काम आसान नहीं है. हमारी एसोसिएशन कंज्यूमर वॉइस 1983 से अब तक चल रही है, और हमें भी कई बार मुश्किल हो जाती है कि हमारे पास भी इतने साधन नहीं है कि सबकी शिकायतों को लेके हम जाएं. क्योंकि इसमें लगता है पैसा और समय। आप एक वकील को हायर करेंगे तो अंकित गुप्ता जी बताएंगे आपको कि वो वकील महीने की तनख्वाह लेगा, आने जाने का खर्चा लेगा। तो उसके लिए अगर एक कंज्यूमर को बोलें कि भैया तुम इसके 2 घंटे का ड्राफ्टिंग का पैसा दे दो, तो वो 2100 रुपए का जो खरीदार है वो कहता है जी 2100 तो गए और ये 600 रुपए और जा रहे हैं, मैं नहीं करता। 9 out of 10 लोग भाग जाते हैं शिकायत करने से।
इट्स लाइक पीनट्स। मिस्टर डॉक्टर तिवारी, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा कोर्ट्स और इन सब की बात हो रही है, व्हाट आर योर लिमिटेशंस? क्योंकि अगर मान लीजिए कोई कंज्यूमर अगर ये बेड़ा उठा भी ले कि नहीं, मैं आई विल टेक दिस केस टू द एंड, टू अ लॉजिकल एंड एंड परहैप्स अवेटिंग जस्टिस फ्रॉम द कोर्ट, पर कॉम्पनसेशन इतना कम होता है।
देखिए, इस एक्ट में आपको 2 चीज़ें प्रूव करनी है। एक तो डेफिशिएंसी, जैसे आपने कहा कि पेमेंट 100% रिफंडेबल था, रिफंड भी कर दिया, पैसे नहीं दिए उन्होंने। ये डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ सर्विसेज आ गई अपोजिट पार्टी की। इस केस के लिए आपके पास 2 ऑप्शन है, या तो आप मेरे पास आएँ, ठीक है, और गवर्नमेंट के मेडिएशन सेल्स चल रहे हैं जहाँ कोई खर्चा नहीं है, कोई टाइम वेस्टेज नहीं है, आप उनके पास जाएं। हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में मेडिएशन सेल है और वो टाइमली और इफ़ेक्टिवली फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट आपका ये निपटारा करेंगे। लेकिन हाँ, ये ज़रूर है, 1 दिन 2 दिन में कुछ नहीं होना है, कहीं किसी से लड़ाई लड़के भी आपको कुछ नहीं मिलना है। अल्टीमेटली आपको अपना केस प्रूव करना होगा, चाहे वो मेडिएशन सेल है चाहे हमारे पास है। हमारे पास कैसे आएंगे? सिंपली आप कहे साहब ये जेन्युइन है, ये फेक है, हम नहीं मानेंगे, बिल्कुल नहीं मानेंगे। क्यों? हमें आपका एविडेंस चाहिए। और एविडेंस क्या है? कोई भी प्रोडक्ट आप खरीदे, चाहे वो फास्ट मूविंग कंज्यूमर गुड्स कुछ भी है, राइट फ्रॉम मोबाइल टू एनीथिंग, और सर्विसेज है, उनका डिफिशिएंसी प्रूव करने के लिए उनके सबके एक सर्विस ऑथराइज सर्विस सेंटर्स होते हैं। अगर रिफंड नहीं कर रहा है, प्रोडक्ट आपके पास है, वो दूसरी बात है कि आप कैश ऑन डिलीवरी लेकर के पेमेंट लेके बाद में देखा साहब ये तो हमने एप्पल का मंगाया था और नोकिया दे दिया, ठीक है, ऑर्डर में सब कुछ लिखा होगा। तो ये कहाँ से प्रूव करेंगे कि आपने वाकई में 3G मंगाया, 4G मिला, 4G अपोजिट कुछ भी मिला? उनकी जो ऑथराइज सर्विस सेंटर्स हैं, आप वहाँ का लेटर, वो कहेंगे नहीं साहब, जैसे शर्मा जी ने बोला कि साहब ये मेरा का नहीं है, लेकिन ये कोई भी रिटेलर, कोई भी शोरूम वाला लिख के नहीं देगा, ठीक है, वो पार्टी नहीं बनना चाहेंगे। इसके लिए ऑथराइज सर्विस सेंटर जाइए, वो अपने आप प्रूव कर देंगे साहब हमने आपका प्रोडक्ट रिटर्न कर दिया, वाई इट इज़ अ फेक प्रोडक्ट और इट हैज़ अ डिफिशिएंसी, जो भी है, शॉर्ट कमिंग है, कुछ भी है, उसमें लिख के देंगे। एंड दैट एविडेंस इज सफिशिएंट बिफोर अस टू प्रूव अ नेग्लिजेंसी एंड डैमेजेस फॉर यू। तो इसमें यही आ गया कि आपको अपना केस दोनों लेवल पे पहले प्रूव ही करना पड़ेगा, तभी आप जाएंगे। और टाइम इफेक्टिव वाली बात है, मेडिएशन है जहां आप जा सकते हैं। हमारे पास तो एक सेट प्रोसेस है, हम उसी में चलेंगे। जितना कंप्लेंट में लिख के आएगा हम उतने ही पर कंसाइन करेंगे। हम ये नहीं है कि आपने 5000 का प्रोडक्ट लिए, 20,000 कंपनसेशन मांगा, मान लिया, अब 5 साल मेरे पास लग गए तो आप उसके लिए मैं आपको 50,000 दे दूं, आपको 1 रुपया मैं एक्स्ट्रा नहीं दूंगा, क्योंकि हमारे ऑर्डर्स फाइनल नहीं होते हैं।
सो बट देखिए, एक तो टाइम कितना लगता है यूजुअली आप इस तरह के केसेस
टाइम का
देखते हैं,
ये है, देखिए,
दूसरा ये कि कई बार ऐसा होता है दैट यू नो द प्राइस मे बी वेरी लेस बट द डेंजर्स ऑफ दैट काउंटरफीट प्रोडक्ट मस्ट बी लाइक लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग, जैसा सर भी कह रहे थे अभी मिस्टर खन्ना। तो ऐसे केसेस में क्या कोर्ट स्टेप अप करके शुड नॉट कम अप विद अ वर्डिक्ट व्हिच इज डेटरेंट टू द अदर्स?
अगेन ये सारी चीज़ें जिस समय आप कंप्लेंट बनाएंगे आपको लिखनी पड़ेंगी। बाद में ये नहीं है कि आपकी जो हमारे सामने 3 स्टेज मेन पार हो गई, उसके बाद आगे सर ये एक एडिशनल एविडेंस रह गया, ये मैंने इम्प्लीड नहीं किया, वो नहीं हो पाएगा, ठीक है। कई जो हमारे स्टेजेस हैं वो आपको फॉलो करने पड़ेंगे, तभी जा कर के आप अपना केस स्ट्रॉन्ग कर पाएंगे। और रह गई इसकी बात है कि कंपनसेशन की बात है, कंपनसेशन हम उसी हिसाब से देंगे जो आप लास्ट में अपनी प्रेयर में 3, 4, 5 पॉइंट लिखेंगे, उसी के हिसाब से।
कंप्लेंट फाइल करने से पहले, ड्राफ्ट करने से पहले एक ऐसे व्यक्ति से सलाह कर लीजिए जो इसमें एक्सपर्ट हो और सारी कहानी प्लीडिंग्स में डाल दे, ताकि कल आपको अगर सक्सेसफुल होना है तो सारे इंग्रेडिएंट उसके अंदर होने चाहिए। बाद में आप एक पैरा ऐड नहीं कर पाओगे।
My name is Kushal. I'm from Law Faculty, Delhi University. My question is, Section 79 of the IT Act 2008 provide for the intermediaries, and in that act it's talk about the safe harbor to the intermediaries.
Okay.
So the products which are sold online, mainly I'm talking about the products for the ladies and child, like diaper, whisper and all. So they can, if product is fake, so they can create the health issue for the baby and for the ladies. So whether intermediaries are liable and whether they can take the section 79 of the IT Act, safe harbor. So what are the legal remedy which are available to the consumers?
Okay, ठीक है. अंकित गुप्ता, I'll bring that question to you. आप आगे बोलिए.
मेरे साथ एक प्रैक्टिकल हुआ है. मैंने एक मतलब फ्लिपकार्ट से एक बॉटल मंगवाया था 300 का, और मैंने फिर जब उसको फर्स्ट डे यूज किया तो वो उसमें लीक था. तो मैंने सोचा कि मुझे पता ही नहीं चला कि वो लीक है. फिर 10 दिन के बाद, चूँकि उसका जो रिटर्न पॉलिसी था वो मात्र 15 दिन का था, तो एक बार रिटर्न पॉलिसी खत्म, 15 दिन खत्म हो गया, उसके बाद तो मुझे रिटर्न मिलना नहीं उधर से. अब आप मुझे ये बताओ कि मैं 300 रुपये का एक बॉटल मंगवाया, अब मैं उसके लिए कहाँ से, अब वो क्वालिटी क्या है, वो गुजरात से होके आया है जहाँ मतलब वेबसाइट में दिखाते हैं. अब मैं किसको फ़ोन करूँ, क्या करूँ? मैंने फाइनली उस बॉटल को फेंक दिया है और अब मैंने दूसरा बॉटल जाके मार्केट से ख़रीद लिया है. तो अब मेरे लिए तो अब फ्लिपकार्ट को यूज़ करना या ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म को यूज़ करना मेरे लिए तो बहुत मुश्किल है. मैं तो यकीन ही नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ.
इस तरह के एक्सपीरियंसेस बहुत लोगों के हुए हैं. अंकित गुप्ता, द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन.
I'll first question to this guy. The question that you have bought in a bottle and knowing the fact that it was written that there is a replacement of 10 days and you have not used in 10 days is violation of policy which is known as caveat emptor. Buyer has to be beware. You were to be beware that it has to be specifically mentioned for a defect within 10 days. First, you are wrong on that point. Second, if you have used it on the 15th day, your first day starts from that 15th day. It is 15 to 25 then. But the only thing that you have to prove is that you used it on the 15th day. Right? So in that case, you can get your claim redressed. And now the question is where you go. As far as the new act is concerned, you can go to the aggregator. All their informations are available on the net. And more, one very important thing I want to bring you to notice is that you have the name of Snapdeal, you have Amazon. These are actually private limited companies. You go to the website of MCA, you go in there, click services, and you see that SIN number, corporate identity number of that company, and there you have a registered address of that company. The company which is providing the registered address is bound to receive your post on that address. You send a letter or a notice to that address, it is a deemed service under the law, first thing. Second is that for a redressal of a complaint, again, there is a customer support. They have IVRS facilities. They have WhatsApp now these days that their service center are going on WhatsApp. They have email facilities. They have live communication facilities. So it is not the case that now you cannot get your claim addressed. So for a complaint, you can go to that forums first. In case you do not get a redressal there, then definitely you have to come to consumer forums and you have to take these kind of actions. Now the second question raised by my friend is Section 79 harboring. That harboring is in good faith actually. When there is a harbor in good faith, yes, you have a protection both under the civil and the criminal law. If it is not in good faith, then no sort of harboring can take you the benefit of being liable. So aggregators under the new law also are liable. They are intermediaries, they are facilitators, but they are liable 101%.
Which
they
currently
cannot
they are getting
take under the wheel of that Section 79 of the Evidence Act which you are talking, or the IT Act.
Okay.
कुछ ऐसे वेबसाइट्स हैं जो या फिर कई ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म हैं जहां वो अपना ही प्रोडक्ट सेल करते हैं. टेली मार्केटिंग कंपनी जैसे होम शॉप 18 फ्लिपकार्ट है. फ्लिपकार्ट स्मार्ट बाई प्रोडक्ट सेल करते हैं. ऐसी स्थिति में वे लोग फेक प्रोडक्ट देते हैं. कहते हैं हमने सारी टेस्टिंग की है, टीवी में दिखाते हैं कि हमने सारी टेस्टिंग की है, फिर उस प्रोडक्ट को वो बेचते हैं. और उनका ऑफिस ने हो सकता है दिल्ली में हो और कोई जो शॉपिंग कर रहा है वो नॉर्थ ईस्ट से हो, साउथ से हो. वैसी स्थिति में उन लोगों को क्या करना चाहिए? दूसरी चीज़ है कि कई ऐसे फेक वेबसाइट्स हैं, जैसे फ्लिपकार्ट ने फ्लैश सेल चलाया, हमने flash.flipkart.com बना लिया और उसके बाद हम प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं. या फिर क्लब फैक्ट्री ने भी बेचा, जो केसेस आए क्लब फैक्ट्री का टाइटन की घड़ी डुप्लीकेट बेची और सारे केसेस. तो ये लोग फेक प्रोडक्ट बेचते हैं. तो जब हमारी गवर्नमेंट के लिए भी लाइबिलिटी है कि उसके नागरिकों को सही प्रोडक्ट मिले. तो हमारी गवर्नमेंट ऐसे वेबसाइट्स को क्यों नहीं बैन करती या ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स को क्यों नहीं बैन करती या उस पर स्टेप्स क्यों नहीं लिए जाते हैं, जब एक छोटा पोस्ट जो वायलेंस करता है या कोई डिफेमेटरी पोस्ट होता है उसको बंद कर दिया जाता है गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा। तो ऐसी स्थिति में गवर्नमेंट की भी लाइबिलिटी है, कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन, इन सब की भी लाइबिलिटी है, तो ये लोग क्यों नहीं स्टेप
ठीक है डॉक्टर कुमार, आई वुड लाइक टू।
ये समस्या तो देखिए बड़ी वाइड स्प्रेड है, जैसे कि हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। तो अब नए एक्ट में ये प्रोविज़न है कि हम मार्केट प्लेस को भी उतनी ही जिम्मेदारी देंगे जितनी कि वो मैन्युफैक्चरर की है, और इसमें पनिशेबल प्रोविजंस हैं। चाइना में ऑलरेडी हैं, यूएस में ऑलरेडी हैं, इंडिया में भी आने जा रहे हैं। तो मार्केट प्लेस जब अकाउंटेबल होगा और हर एक प्रोडक्ट के लिए, देखिए मार्केट प्लेस को बंद नहीं किया जा सकता क्योंकि वहाँ पे लाखों प्रोडक्ट्स और भी हैं। एक प्रोडक्ट की वजह से आप मार्केट प्लेस को नहीं बंद कर सकते। मार्केट प्लेस को आप ठीक कर सकते हैं, पनिश कर सकते हैं, उसको फाइन लगा सकते हैं। तो वो प्रोविज़न आ रहे हैं। इससे पहले, क्योंकि ये तो बाद की बात है कि आप कंपनसेशन और अपने रिड्रेसल के लिए जा रहे हैं, मेरी सलाह तो ये है कि सबसे पहले आप ये फेक प्रोडक्ट के शिकार हो क्यों रहे हैं। इसका मतलब आप कहीं ना कहीं, जैसे कि हमारे वो एडवोकेट साहब ने भी कहा, कहीं ना कहीं आप भी चूक रहे हैं उसको आइडेंटिफाई करने में और उसमें केयर करने में। आप अगर फेक कह रहे हैं एक प्रोडक्ट को, तो पहले आपको ओरिजिनल से परिचित होना पड़ेगा ना पूरी तरह से, कि ओरिजिनल में क्या फीचर्स हैं, वो कैसे पहचाना जाता है। तो आपको फेक तुरंत पता लग जाना चाहिए। कहीं ना कहीं 80-90% केसेस में अगर आपको फेक की पूरी, ओरिजिनल की पूरी जानकारी है और आपने यूज़ किया है या उसको देखा है, तो फेक देखने से पता लग जाता है। पर अगर बहुत ही सोफिस्टिकेटेड तरीके से फेक बनाया गया है, तो उसके लिए आपको पहले से वेंडर की जानकारी, वेंडर के क्रेडेंशियल्स की जानकारी, उसकी रिटर्न पॉलिसी, और जो प्लेटफॉर्म है उसकी क्रेडेंशियल्स क्या हैं, उसकी अपनी पॉलिसी क्या है कंपनसेट कराने की। अगर ये सारी चीज़ें आपने चेक करके अपने को एक जागरूक ग्राहक के रूप में प्रेजेंट किया है, तो मुझे लगता है आपकी प्रॉब्लम होनी ही नहीं चाहिए। क्योंकि हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स ने जैसे कि बताया कि आप जब कंपनसेशन के लिए या रिड्रेसल के लिए जाएंगे लीगल रिकोर्स में, तो आपका प्रोडक्ट तो है 500,000 रुपये का, आपका खर्चा हो जाएगा ज़्यादा, टाइम लगेगा ज़्यादा।
कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 2019 में उन्होंने रूल्स नोटिफाई करे हैं, ड्राफ्ट ई कॉमर्स रूल्स। उसमें एक सबसे ज़रूरी रूल यह है कि हर एग्रीगेटर को, फैसिलिटेटर को एक डिक्लेरेशन देनी पड़ेगी, और वो डिक्लेरेशन उसकी वेबसाइट पे मिलेगी आपको। क्या उसकी लीगल एंटिटी है, क्या उसका एड्रेस है, कौन उसके डायरेक्टर्स हैं, क्या प्रोडक्ट्स वो बेच रहे हैं, और उसके बाकी तमाम एक फॉर्मेट है जो फिल करके हर ई कॉमर्स साइट को डिक्लेयर करना पड़ेगा, जो आम आदमी को दिखाई देगा। तो आप कह रहे थे कि भाई नई साइट आ जाएगी, ऐसा नहीं होगा। आने वाले समय में आप वही साइट सब बेच पाएंगी जिन्होंने ये डिक्लेरेशन गवर्नमेंट को दिया हुआ है, और उसके डिक्लेरेशन की कॉपी होगी आपको चेक करने के लिए। जरा सी गड़बड़ हुई आप शिकायत कर सकते हो, उसकी रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो जाएगी।
सर, लेकिन एक क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर सेलर की, इफ ऑल द डिटेल्स आर पब्लिश्ड आल्सो ऑन द वेबसाइट, टू व्हाट एक्सटेंट विल इट कर्ब काउंटरफीट प्रोडक्ट्स फ्रॉम बीइंग सोल्ड?
It will at least avoid those who are in the habit of selling fake products to create new websites to fool consumers, because if you create a new website, you will still have to file a declaration before you are allowed to sell on it, और आप उसके बिना करोगे तो आपकी प्रोसिक्यूशन होगी। तो एक अंकुश एक तरह का आ गया है इस कानून में।
China has a very strict law about these provisions for punishing those websites which are repeatedly cheating the consumers. See, besides the punishment for one particular product, they have a huge punishment provision up to 5 million or even more, 50 million fine on the website, on the marketplace for one product. So naturally marketplace has to be very careful because they can attract that kind of a heavy penalty. So I mean, you can't close the website, you can't order the, dissolution of the website, but you can always put huge penalties so that they are more careful. And when I was using, saying about the technology, these websites and marketplaces have started using these technologies. What they are doing is, when they are entering into a contract or an agreement with the vendor, they know that the vendor has to supply the original product, because they are careful from the vendor also, because vendors also are used to mixing the products. See, they don't supply all the fakes. So in 10 original, they will put 2 fakes, 1 fake. So that is the tendency with the vendor. I mean, that is what has been reported. I can't say with formally.
There are surveys which
So
are
there are scanners, and they are not very costly scanners. These scanners are applied, and each and every product passes through that scanner. The scanner has the capacity to even just match those missing and important links in the emblem or in the logo or somewhere, so that they immediately take out the fake products, and those fakes are out.
What the e-tailers say, sir, that they have stringent policies in place to check that their platform is not used for fake products. But we keep hearing in the news as well every now and then that big sites, Amazon, Flipkart, which most of us very frequently use and what action they take on these third-party sellers is they just blacklist them, remove them. But is that enough?
These companies have been repeatedly, been told, and their survival also depends on their basically, complying with these rules and their own, regulations. If they don't comply with and become, infamous for these kind of things, naturally they themselves will get, closed.
True.
So they are also careful. There is a provision that whenever they enter into a vendorship agreement with anybody, they have to inspect the unit. They have to look at the background of the manufacturers, credentials of the suppliers. All these checks are being done by the...
Yeah, and now, as Mr. Khanna pointed out, they must publish it also on the website.
And if they apply technology also, that will be further, like strengthening the whole process of selection.
But obviously, this is going to take a lot of time as well. Anybody else in the audience? Yeah.
Hello.
Second row.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for having this interactive panel. So, myself, Vibhor Sharma. I'm a student of Advertising and Public Relations at the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. So, what I can feel at this very issue, the core is of trust. Whether we are consumer or it's the endpoint aggregator or the brand. Ultimately, what is happening is our trust in that brand is losing. So when that trust loses, we don't feel like ordering or doing any kind of transaction from that brand. And like we've been seeing that these brands have recently brought under scrutiny, but they kind of shush away the whole problem. They are not themselves addressing that problem head on. So is it possible, or would you advise from that brands or from these aggregators point of view that they start coming up with some campaigns or some advertisements or partnering up with influencers and address this issue from themselves, from their sides, so that it's like a parent saying or a friend saying ki I know ye problem hai, I know, but tum mujh tak aao seedha. Rather than, because these consumers are trying ki consumer redressal forum hai and everything is there, but process mein kahin na kahin ek trust lose ho jata hai. So is there some way that they can come up with some initiatives?
देखो आप ये समझो, कौन ये करता है? वो करता है जो बेईमानी से पैसा कमाना चाहता है. असली बात ये है. तो आप बेईमान को बोल रहे हो कि तुम ट्रस्ट बनाओ, वो बनाएगा इसलिए कि आपके साथ और बड़ी बेईमानी कर ले. इसलिए आप ये समझ लो कि ऐसे लोग बाजार में बैठे हैं जो बेईमानी से पैसा आपका अपनी जेब में ट्रांसफ़र करना चाहते हैं. कैसे बचोगे ये आपके ऊपर है, कोई बचाने वाला नहीं है. आप गवर्नमेंट के भरोसे या कचहरी के भरोसे रह जाओगे तो भैया मैं आपसे सिंपैथाइज ही कर सकता हूँ, बोले आई एम सॉरी बट यू शुड हैव बीन मोर केयरफुल. मेरा आपको ये एडवाइस है कि आप स्मार्ट कंज्यूमर बनिए और अपने अधिकारों की स्वयं रक्षा करिए. कंज्यूमर एसोसिएशंस के साथ जुड़ के आवाज़ बुलंद करिए और जो गड़बड़ करते हैं उनको एक्सपोज करिए. वेबसाइट पे जाके, अपने फेसबुक पे, अपने मित्रों के थ्रू, इंस्टाग्राम पे, सोशल मीडिया पे उनको बेनकाब करिए कि ये कंपनी बेईमान है, इसने ऐसा किया है, और 10 लोगों से और करवाइए.
These brands, the original products manufacturers and sellers have also the role and responsibility to protect the consumers against the fake, products. See, as far as our understanding is that these original manufacturers, OE manufacturers, those who are, they are not, by and large, they are not interested in, spreading of the fake product. They are not using the fake products. Basically, it is the other manufacturers, those who are copying their products and selling it at a cheaper price. So, these manufacturers, these original brand manufacturers, as you were asking, almost all of them, all famous brands, whether you are taking one name, I can take 10, 20 names, all these have appointed the patent protectionists, companies, and they regular basis, the surveys are being done by their agents and by their companies, those have been appointed to protect their brands. It is not that they are not interested, they are also doing it. Sometimes, what happens is these do not come into the, notice of the people who are, or maybe they also become careless
So
because
it's quite
they have,
surprising, sir, in that case, because if they are keeping a watch, and despite that, you know, several of us buy products, luxury brand products online, and then one day you read in the newspapers that, you know, those brands are claiming we do not sell our products online.
That's
It's
what
a
I say,
huge
that
shock for us.
if the
large
consumer is
number of
careful,
population.
there will be some lacuna in the fake products which he can identify. There will be some spelling change, some color change, some logo change, something which is different, which differentiates a fake product from the original product. And that is how they take advantage, that our product is different. Our spelling is different, our logo is different, our, you know, like color is different, our this is different. So that is how it protects them. So if you are careful, you can identify.
In the front row, please.
सर हमारे देश में ऑलरेडी बहुत सारे कानून हैं दैट इफ समवन हैव चीटेड यू यू गो टू पुलिस स्टेशन लॉज द एफआईआर और गो टू कंज्यूमर रिड्रेसल फॉर्म टू कंपनसेट बट एट बोथ प्लेसेस onus comes on me to prove every fact that I have been cheated. This is the problem, Your Honor. This is the problem. Sir, we need some guidelines. We need some mandatory direction to the online portals that if they will sell any product which is fake, their license will be cancelled.
Action Mr. Kumar was pointing out.
Action is needed, sir. Sure. Time has come. बिकॉज एक 300 रुपए की बोतल के लिए कोई आदमी पुलिस स्टेशन नहीं जाएगा सर. 300 रुपए की बोतल के लिए कंज्यूमर रिड्रेसल फॉर्म नहीं जाएगा सर.
ठीक है, बिल्कुल ठीक है.
Hello everyone. So my question is actually the main issue that the consumer faces is when they get a defective product and they want other people not to suffer with the same thing. So the basic thing a layman will do is to call the customer care service. So the biggest problem that I personally have faced is to reach them. When we call them, most of the time we have to wait for half an hour to just so that they can take the call and ask us what's the problem. So when we tell them the problem about a particular product, because as a responsible citizen, I don't want that the other person should also face the same thing. So we tell them that this product is not good and you should take down the product from your particular website so that other people should not face the same thing. So they always say that, okay, ma'am, we'll do our necessary action that we have to take. So my main question is that, do they really take any action? Do they, because I personally have bought few skin products from various websites and they were not that good when I used them. So I complained about it and they assured me that they won't, that they will take necessary action against the manufacturers or they'll take down the product. But after a few months, I saw the same products being shown on that particular website. So is there any ways so that we can see that a necessary action has been taken against those particular manufacturers?
Every company today first focus on the social media. They have a Facebook page, they have a Twitter handle, they have Insta and everything. So you can just go to their handle and post it and see result will come.
आपको इतनी आवाज़ बुलंद करनी पड़ेगी 100, 200, 300, 400 लोगों को इकट्ठा करके उनके अपने अकाउंट से सोशल मीडिया पे जाओगे और वो उनको लगेगा कि भैया ये एक आदमी नहीं है, ये कई आदमी हैं, तब वो आपकी बात ज़्यादा सुनेंगे.
ठीक है.
और अगर ये नहीं कर पा रहे हो आप, तो किसी संस्था के साथ जुड़ जाइए जो इस काम में लगी हुई है, क्योंकि जो ये संस्थाएं हैं ये भी आपके बीच में से आएंगी, ये कोई सरकार नहीं बनाएगी.
Exactly, and all of us youngsters here, we use social media, we know how the internet works. So let's follow what he says, and you know, maybe that solves our problem to some extent. One final round of question. ऊपर से नहीं लिया है, आप बोलिए.
My question is that as we are a citizen, so we must have some responsibility that we must be digitally literate. So digital literacy and the media literacy, मतलब कि हम लोग अगर देखें तो अगर आसानी से अगर कोई फेक पोर्टल या फिर कोई फेक वेबसाइट है तो उसको हम लोग आसानी से जज कर सकते हैं कुछ, क्योंकि जो ओरिजिनल वेबसाइट है और ओरिजिनल प्रोडक्ट है उसको आसानी से देखा जा सकता है. तो एक डिजिटल लिटरेसी की डिस्पोजिशन हम लोग में अंदर होनी चाहिए. तो
हाँ, काफ़ी अच्छा सजेशन है वो. या हाँ, और कोई?
So I just want to add one thing. While we're actually talking about completely banning fake products, I want to bring in a little different perspective. So some students actually have a limited budget and they actually want to buy fake products, you know, because they don't mind it. But they will have a problem buying, I mean, it's not a problem if they buy fake shoes. that much, but they will have more of a problem if they buy fake makeup, because that's actually not good for health. So is there any provision to kind of selectively ban on a few products, or what is the solution that we can come up with this?
Yeah,
Like, what
Mr.
is
Kumar,
the middle path?
I mean, there's no harm accepting that yes, it's a copy, it's not an original for those of them who want to.
आपके टू व्हीलर्स के जितने स्पेयर पार्ट्स हैं ना, जब आप रिपेयर कराने जाते हो तो वो कहता है जी आपको ओरिजिनल चाहिए या डुप्लीकेट. डुप्लीकेट का प्राइस बताता है, वो आधे प्राइस में मिल रहा है, आप कहते हैं जी डुप्लीकेट डाल दो और आपका स्कूटर और मोटरसाइकिल चलता है. सो दिस इज हैपनिंग इन सम इंडस्ट्रीज एंड इट इज नॉट दैट दे आर रियली फेक, दे वर्क but they may not be as durable, as effective as the original one.
What do you consider it as a fake? We consider a product fake when you are paying for the original price. Then it is a fake. If the original price is 5,000 rupees and you are paying 4,900 rupees, getting a 100 rupees discount, becoming very happy that you have purchased it at a very good bargain,
Yes, I
then
think
you are
we
being
all
cheated.
fall for
But
heavy
you are
discounts.
if you are paying, you know that you are paying 1,000 rupees for a product of 5,000 rupees. You know that it has a 90% chance of being duplicate. I would not say fake, it is a duplicate. So you have to accept it.
Sometimes, consumer buy the original product from the online and changes it with the fake product and sending it back to the online firm. And this is like, they are cheating the online firms. So what are the legal remedy available to the...
बेईमानी दोनों तरफ है. ये नहीं कह सकते कि जो फेक बेच रहा है वही बेईमान है. हमारे सिटीजन में भी कोई पैसा बनाने के लिए और कई ऐसे लोगों को ई कॉमर्स साइट्स ने पकड़ा भी है जिन्होंने इस तरह की बेईमानी करके और उनको चीट करने की कोशिश की.
Okay. So I'm running out of time. Let me quickly take concluding remarks from all our panelists, because we've all discussed the extent of the problem, to some extent some solutions as well. But in future, how we can curb it harder, and there can be a middle way out as to some fakes available, but of course with an honest caption. Mr. Kumar, do you think that's workable?
I would say that first of all, the consumer has to be careful. The platform has to be careful. Platform has to ensure and screen the products by use of technology or by inspections or by checking the vendors. So both have to be careful, and legal action or maybe redressal mechanism is bit tardy, and it will take more time unnecessarily. You don't enter into that. Try to be careful and prevent these kind of mishaps happening to you. That is what I would say.
Mr. Khanna, what?
देखिए, मुझे एक ही बात कहनी है, वो ये है कि कुंभकर्ण की नींद से जागिए और जो जागृत ग्राहक बनिए, और जिसका स्लोगन क्या है, जागो ग्राहक, यही है इसका रास्ता.
ओके मिस्टर तिवारी, अभी फिलहाल जो हम सब डिस्कस कर रहे थे, अभी फॉर एवरी लिटिल थिंग द ओनर्स इज ऑन कंज्यूमर. एविडेंस प्रूव करना हो, चीटिंग हो, जो भी हो, मतलब काफ़ी चीज़ों में ओनर्स कंज्यूमर का है. अब नए लॉ से उम्मीद है कि काफ़ी कुछ चेंज होगा, पर कोर्ट्स का क्या कुछ रोल इसमें बदलेगा? क्या हम इसको कुछ फास्ट ट्रैक कर सकते हैं ताकि 300 रुपये की चीज़ के लिए अगर वो लीगल रिकॉस्ट ले भी, पर उसको उतना हैवी कॉस्ट ना पे करना पड़े और सब कुछ जल्दी हो जाए?
देखिए, डेफिशिएंसी आपको प्रूव करनी है और कैसे हमारी प्रोसेस फास्ट हो जाए उसके लिए आपको ही जागरूक होना है, जैसे शर्मा जी ने बोला है. और क्योंकि दूसरी पार्टी को भी हमें सुनना है, वो प्रॉपरली हमारे सामने आते नहीं आते इसका भी आपको ज्ञान होना चाहिए. अगर वो नहीं आ रहे हैं तो आपके पास रेमेडी होना चाहिए कि इनके जो स्टेज हम कैसे बंद करवाएं ताकि मैं आगे बढ़ सकूं. तो अल्टीमेटली ये जब तक कंज्यूमर अवेयर नहीं है अपने राइट्स के लिए, तब तक हमारे पास से आपको रिलीफ नहीं मिल पाएगा.
See, the question is that we are in a phase of social transformation as far as consumer laws are concerned. The only crux out of the discussion is that you need to have expert advice before you go to a fora. You need to have a better understanding of the laws, the return policy, the aggregators, the website from which you are buying the product, whether it is fake, whether it is genuine. You have to be aware. Initially, when you will be aware, then only you will be able to redress your problem. It is not a question of a 300 product or a 30,000 product. It is a question of who is buying that product and what kind of redressal is he seeking. We have seen cases, people coming to the court for 5 rupees. One person came to the court for charging 2 rupees excess in a toll tax. So, these kind of people also come to the court.
Yes, because when the trust is eroded, you want to just take it to the logical end.
It is only that how you want to erode this process, how you want to evolve this process. It is a social transformation, and the reason that understanding this, the government has tried to enact a new law to all include these social dynamics which were evolving. So we have to be very aware that what we are actually looking for. We should not make it a fight that we get only 2,000 compensation or a 5,000 compensation. It is a matter of justice. We have to exercise our rights.
Exactly.
So we have to be aware,
and the battle against this problem of counterfeit products must be fought together. So everybody, consumers, brands, the e-tailers, and of course the government at large must come together. The problem is huge, but of course we have to find solutions. The governments worldwide are coming up with the new laws. The Consumer Protection Act will be implemented very soon, and perhaps because it is aimed at looking at consumer interests first. So let's hope things will change. It will take time. The problem, of course, as we've said, is huge. It's a mounting problem worldwide, and we have to wait and watch for solutions. So as Mr. Khanna pointed out, what we must do on our part is be smart consumers, and when we realize that we've been cheated, we must raise it up at the appropriate forum, whichever works best for us. So with that, I'll have to wrap up this edition of The Pulse this week. Thank you to all our panelists and to our wonderful audience for joining us on the discussion today. You can watch the program at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Just in case you missed the television broadcast, you can also watch it online on YouTube and Twitter. You can also send in your feedback and suggestions about our program. See you again next week. Thank you for your time.